that we may have on today's agenda. Moving on to action items, item 2A is the Wiarton shop fire. And Brian, you can share some information about that tragedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've submitted our report, and I'll jump right to I believe I will. Yes, that was the scene on Saturday morning 2 weeks ago, and the next, later that morning, that was probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, that's what remained. Behind this, we can see in the plan that the shop, maybe I should give a bit of orientation. I'm told that one shouldn't sashay far from the seat. So Highway 21 is, or Highway 6, my gosh, is right here. County Road 13 is right here. The shop that you saw is right there. Undamaged from the fire is the dome and the salt shed. And that's the limit of the site. So we're now undergoing a review of what has been lost and how to recover. Inside the building were 2 tandems, a 1-ton, a crew cab, and a patrol truck. So we've lost the equipment as well as the shop. So there's sort of 2 types of things. We're meeting with the insurers today and tomorrow, to understand a bit more about our coverage and how to move forward. Mr. Chairman, I believe our report suggests that in order to recover, we're asking committee's understanding and their acknowledgement that we have an unfunded liability, or recognize there's certain expenditures we have to undertake prior to returning to identify what the best plan of action may be. And in the same, so that's on the shop side. On the vehicle side, the insurance coverage and our recovery plan is going to be the purchase of replacement units. And in doing that, we're asking that you recognize that we waive the purchasing policy in order that we move ahead with the replacement of the equipment.
Very good. I'll read the recommendation, and we can have some more discussion if you want. The recommendation is that the establishment of an unfunded liability account up to the maximum of $50,000 be approved to facilitate the administrative and planning work for the recovery of the Wiarton shop facility, and that the purchasing policy be waived for the administration and planning work for recovery of the Wiarton shop facility and for the replacement of vehicles and road maintenance and shop tools. Moved by David, second by Mitch. Any discussion on the motion? Mitch?
Just if you could pass on a big thank you to Larry, who basically took ownership of that whole situation from the time he got the call until I believe he left later on that evening, did he not? So just give him a big thank you.
We shall.
And Sherry, to you too as well, for going on a Saturday. You look very nice with that hard hat on that day. You should be wearing that to work every day.
So Brian, for the 2 tandems, I think the urgency is that we have that equipment here before the snow flies, is I think why you're wanting to waive the policy, which is fine. And wondering, was there other tandems in the 216, or was there any tandems coming up in the 217 budget?
Yes, we're replacing 1 tandem in 16, and that was organized in January, February, and we're expecting that tandem with plow equipment in September, October. So what we've done, what the department has done, our fleet manager, he has seen a bunch of tandems that are on the line right now, and we're getting prices for them. And we're hopeful that they're going to fit within the framework of the insurance coverage. So they provide us the funds for us to purchase the equipment. So naturally, what we're addressing here is that if we've seen trucks that can be outfitted for this fall, we need to move ahead fairly quickly. And so there are spec trucks to similar specs to our own out there that are being built right now, and then can get in the line of Viking. And again, if you recall that I think all of our equipment's made by Viking, and committee have in the past allowed us to have Viking put the equipment on at a structured price. And this will allow us to approach the vendor of the truck and the Viking for the plow equipment and box to move ahead and hopefully get us these units for this fall. Because again, they're 2 of our full-time units out of a fleet of about 15, I think, 13 of which are en routes and used every day.
So the point was that, so we have a truck on order that was in the 216 budget.
Yes.
And what was it replacing? Because is that replacement truck, can we get another winter out of it as well?
Good point. What we have done is we're at the end of our seasons for contract trucks, and we've got 3 contract trucks on with the county. It was thought that a decision was made some time ago that as opposed to selling the truck we're replacing this year, we're going to use that truck on one of the routes, sort of mid-county, where we felt it would be much better for a county employee to operate a truck than extend a rental.
Very good. Any other?
You did have a question, if I could, Mr. Chairman. You asked about 17. We do have 2 new tandems coming in 17, as we've had in our budget for some time, in our capital forecast. Unapproved, but in our capital forecast. So there's a chance that we can probably blend a number of things into our recovery plan between shop and equipment. So we want to get our ducks in order, understand when we're going to get the equipment replaced, and then we want to understand of what resources will be given to replace the shop, and then we'll come to you with a plan of looking forward to have a recovery of the shop as well. And some of that may be some future equipment changes, change some of our future requirements for equipment.
Well, I think you answered my question on the, so there was 2 trucks in the budget for 17. You've got 1 purchased for 16. Unfortunately, we need to get 2 replacements. So I'm in the next, now and within the next 6 months, we actually need to purchase 4 trucks.
No, we have all of 17 to buy those other 2 trucks.
Well, I know.
So in our capital forecast, I imagine.
This is July, this is June already, so.
Yes, so if it were addressed in our capital forecast, adopted in the budget, we may buy 2 new trucks in 17, and we would probably tender in November, December.
Have you purchased all your last trucks at the same dealership?
No.
The last 3 and 4 years?
No, not trucks.
They've shifted around?
No. Oh, or maybe
Sherry?
Can you contribute?
In regards to the 2 that our fleet manager has located that are on a line, it would be from the same supplier that is currently supplying our 2016 with the exact same specs of our 2016 planned purchase.
Yes.
Very good. Anyone else?
If I could actually, you sort of sashayed down a variety of roads, Mr. Chairman, but if I can respond.
Well, it wasn't intentional, Brian.
Oh, okay, well then we're good. I was thinking that just to refresh committee, that in our capital forecast for equipment and housing, we had identified some improvements in Wiarton in 2017. And it was to replace the sand salt facility, which is the dome. So if we recall, we've not had great luck on those domes. So in our past budgets, we had tried to organize a replacement of that facility in 2017. So as we say, now we need to consolidate, having lost that, given that imminent replacement, we need to consolidate. And so that's what we're hoping to come with you, approach you. It cannot be July 14th. It's probably going to have to be August. Like, we don't have enough time between now and preparation for July 14th meeting. So it's likely going to have to be the August meeting.
So, I don't see how we're possibly going to have everything constructed before the snow flies. Are we going to have to look at some temporary housing for the winter ahead?
Foreman Larry and Sherry are considering, now we put 2,000 ton of material here, and the salt shed's about 250 ton is ongoing. You sort of replace salt as you use it. So the thought is, do we continue using those two facilities for this winter and house the trucks there or nearby? Or do we go elsewhere, MTO or neighbors or whatnot, and see if we can find capacity for storage in their facilities? But we do acknowledge that, our neighbor is a strong user of that material as well. Like, I believe maybe 30% of the material in there is used by South Bruce Peninsula. So I would suspect, Larry's looking around, Sherry D's looking around to other alternatives. I'd suspect that we have to continue using those two facilities, and the trucks may be housed elsewhere or there.
Thank you, Brian. Anything else, anyone? Did we vote on that motion? Not yet. Oh, that's good then. Any other discussion on the motion? If not, I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion's carried. Items 2B, replacement of the McCurdy Bridge, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is sort of ongoing. Committee have seen this a number of times in the past, and as we move through the different processes. Our environmental assessment is complete. We have not been bumped up, so we satisfied the environmental assessment. So the solution for the bridge is the alignment solution, alternative B, which is the mid-alignment. Existing is up here. Original road allowance is right there, and the environmental assessment is completed and uncontested and supports the alignment 50 meters to the south of the existing bridge. Having done that, now we have to move forward with archaeological stage 2 reviews and have to sort of organize how we're going to recover from our SARS issues in the water for next year. So we have actually got some pricing in for the archaeological assessment, and we're suggesting that be assigned to Mayor Archaeological Consultants. And it's right in that threshold of $5,000, so we suggested that we provide us some latitude as we find that things change as they do their investigation, up to $6,000. And we have had a chance a number of times to go to the councils of Aaron Eldersley and Brockton, and have identified the proposed cost-sharing arrangement and subsequent agreement. And I'm understanding that Brockton continues to support our past proposal, and I'm hopeful that Aaron Eldersley continues to support our past proposal, and we're hoping that we can acknowledge the arrangement through bylaw in July.
Okay, there's a recommendation. I'll read the recommendation that the Mayor Archaeological Consultants be awarded Stage 2 archaeological assessment work in the amount of maximum of $6,000, and that a bylaw be introduced to authorize the execution of an agreement between the municipality of Aaron Eldersley, municipality of Brockton, and the county of Bruce, which outlines the respective responsibilities and subsequent costs the replacement of the McCurdy Bridge. Have a mover for the motion. Moved by Mike, second by Bob. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. Brian, we're on to item C, Bruce Power License Agreement, Paisley Shop.
Mr. Chairman, we're very supportive of Bruce Power's initiatives to monitor the area. And one of the recent initiatives has been the installation of a facility that looks a lot like that. And it's located at our Paisley shop, and it's at the northwest corner of the shop property. We're a little ahead of ourselves in terms of the arrangements, but I believe I had been to committee some time ago about the conceptual approach. And so I believe that has been acknowledged through committee, but yes, this is the formal acknowledgement that we enter an agreement between Bruce Power and ourselves.
The recommendation is that a bylaw be introduced authorizing the execution of a license agreement between the Corporation of the County of Bruce and Bruce Power LP. Have a moved by Mitch, seconder on the motion, Milt. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. On to items D, Brian, speed limit zones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our speed limit bylaw is all-encompassing, meaning that we've got every section of road has a speed associated with it, and it's within the bylaw. So we tend to try and aggregate needs to change the bylaw. And we've got two needs to change the bylaw in this instance. And one is because of the work we're doing on County Road 40. And that is located, if we can look at the map, County Road north is up, County Road 3 is over here, the Turner's Bridge over the Saugeen River is here, the rail trail is snakes through here, and then there's an alignment for a small bridge in here. Is we recognized, and we assumed this road in 2005, we recognized that we've looked at the surface improvements on this road, that we are unable to make substantial improvement to the alignment of the road through those curves and over that bridge. So in order to manage to manage the road is where we suggest that we identify that small section from the blue dots at 70 kilometers per hour. If you recall, Foreman Ray is right now doing spot improvements at two intersections on this road. Right now, he's down at Side Road 29 down here, and next week he's going to jump up and start on the intersection just east of Highway 21 on side roads 13, 14. So once we've got those two spots done, we'll recycle and then pave the road, shoulder it, and when we open it up, it'll have a 70 kilometer per hour speed limit in that zone if committee endorses that. The second item, Mr. Chairman, is here in Wiarton, is going up the West Hill, is we've had a request that we consider extending the 50 kilometer per hour zone as you see on the attached map. And so that would be the 50 would end, the westerly limit of the 50 would be just west of our shop. That's the shop property right in here. So it's just west of our entrance to the shop is the end of the 50.
The recommendation that the speed limit zone on Bruce Road 40 be amended to include a 70 kilometer per hour speed limit zone, and that the 50 kilometer per hour speed limit zone on Durham Street West, Bruce Road 2 in Wiarton be extended, and that the bylaw be introduced to authorize the speed limits on the Bruce County road system, and that bylaw 2015-042 be repealed. Moved by Mitch, second by Dave. I'm certainly sad to see that hill getting reduced to 50K. I like letting her go there. I'm leaving town and see what she'll do with it. I'm doing by getting to the top.
Oh, well, then it's for good reason that we need to identify it at 50 kilometers per hour.
Maybe.
You've been part of the problem here.
Maybe.
Wiarton is growing quite rapidly, and we need to control the movement of traffic up the hill.
Oh, I hear you. Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. Tender summary, Brian.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it is part of the report. I think we've only got two contracts that it facilitates the signature of, the recycling one on County Road 40 and the subsequent hot mix one on Road 40 as well.
Okay, I'll read the recommendation that the warden and clerk be authorized to sign the following tender contracts as per section 13.2.13 of the County of Bruce Purchase and Procurement Policy, 16-29 asphalt recycling on Bruce Road 40, and 16-32 hot mix Bruce Road 40. Have a mover for the recommendation, moved by Robert, second by Milt. Any discussion on the motion? Milt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What's our hot mix coming in at this year, Brian?
It's generally in the $70. We had some HL2 modified, which is the sand mix, at about $74, and the bulk of it, the HL3, is coming in at that $76, $78 range.
So do we have lots of interest in this EC King contract here?
There appears to be a consolidation of the hot mixers in our area. And we only had 2 tenders submitted for the hot mix on Route 40.
So Sutherland and,
Yes, and they were large tonnages. I think it was 16,000 ton. I think it was maybe 10,000 ton on one side and 6,000 ton on the other. Might have been 9 and 7. So they're large. We try and put the hot mix together in a local area
Yeah.
in large volumes.
yeah. Good, thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion on the recommendation? Any other discussion on the recommendation? All those in favor of the recommendation? That's carried. Any information items, Brian, that didn't make the agenda?
No, I believe there's not.
Next meeting then is July 14th. No other business? Motion to adjourn. Moved by Janice and seconded by Milt. All those in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.